My name is Reyes, and I still remember the smell of that place, even though there was no smell at all. I had expected dust. I had expected the heavy, old smell of a place that had been closed for thousands of years. Instead, the air inside the ancient tomb was clean and still, like it had been waiting, frozen in time, for someone to walk through the door. We had been digging at this site for almost a year. My team called it the Velkari ruins, named after the strange symbols carved into the outer walls. Nobody knew who the Velkari were. We only knew they had built something enormous under the ground, something that had survived far longer than anything human hands had ever made. 3 research teams before mine had tried to open the main door. They had used heavy tools, bright lights, and careful plans. Nothing had worked. The door stayed shut, silent and cold, no matter what we tried. That day, I was not even trying. I was tired. I had been awake for almost 20 hours, checking sensors, writing notes, and listening to my commander repeat the same instructions again and again. I walked up to the door out of pure exhaustion, more to lean on it than anything else. My hand touched the cold surface, and I let out a long breath. The door opened. It did not creak, and it did not groan, the way old doors do in the stories I read as a child. It simply moved apart, like water gently pulling itself in 2 directions. I stood there for a moment, too surprised to speak, my hand still raised in the air. "Reyes, report," said Commander Otieno through my radio. Her voice was calm, but I could hear the tension underneath it. "Talk to me." "I'm in," I said, my voice shaking a little. The door opened. It just opened. There was a pause on the other end. I could imagine her face, eyes wide, trying to understand what I had just told her. 3 teams had failed with powerful machines. I had opened it with a tired hand and a moment of forgetfulness. "Proceed carefully," she finally said. "We are sending backup now. Do not go far." I nodded, even though she could not see me, and stepped through the doorway. The room inside was larger than I expected. My light swept across walls covered in spiral patterns that seemed to twist and turn no matter which way I looked at them. It felt like the walls were alive, even though I knew that could not be true. I walked slowly, careful not to touch anything, listening to my own breathing inside my suit. Then the statues moved. At first, I thought it was my imagination, tired eyes playing tricks after a long day underground. But then, I saw it clearly. Along both walls, tall shapes that I had believed were statues began to shift. They were not stone. They were something else. Something built from metal and dark crystal, each one nearly 3 meters tall. My mind raced, trying to understand what I was seeing. Warning signs flashed across the screen inside my helmet, telling me about strange energy readings, but I could barely read them. My whole body had gone still, frozen in place. I wanted to run. Every part of me screamed to turn and leave that room as fast as I could, but my legs would not move. I stood there, completely still, as 11 of these tall figures stepped out from the walls and formed a circle around me. Looking back now, I believe that not running saved my life. If I had turned to escape, they might have seen me as something to catch, something to stop. Instead, I stood my ground, more from fear than bravery, and something about that stillness changed everything. The closest figure stopped only a few steps away from me. Its front held several round lights, like eyes, arranged in a pattern I had never seen before. Those lights had been glowing a sharp red color, but as it looked at me, the red slowly faded into a soft, gentle yellow. Then, without warning, it lowered itself down. Not falling, not breaking, but bending its legs and dropping to one knee in a smooth, careful movement, almost like it had practiced this many times before. One by one, the other figures followed. Within a few seconds, I was standing in the middle of a circle of giant machines, and every single one of them had lowered itself before me. "Reyes?" Otieno's voice came through again, sharper this time. "Your heart rate just jumped. What is happening down there? Answer me." I could not speak right away. I was too busy staring at the center of the room, where a soft light had begun to glow on a raised platform. It was the same spiral pattern from the outer door, now shining gently, pulsing at a steady rhythm. I realized, with a strange chill, that the light was matching the beat of my own heart. Then I heard a voice. It did not come through my radio. It did not come through my ears at all. It arrived directly inside my mind, clear and calm, like someone had placed the words there without a single sound. "Marker confirmed," the voice said. "You carry the old pattern. Tell us, small one, why did it take so long for your kind to return?" "There is no return," I said out loud, my voice sounding strange in the quiet room. "I am human. I come from a planet far from here. I have never been in this place before. My people did not even exist when this was built." The tall figure closest to me tilted its head slightly, a movement that felt almost curious, almost gentle, despite its size and strange shape. "Your kind is not what we measure," the voice replied. "There is a pattern, placed inside a single family line by builders long gone, more than 40,000 years ago. This pattern does not care what world you come from. It does not care what your body looks like. It only asks if you carry it. You do. That is the only thing that has ever mattered to this place, and to us." "That cannot be true," I whispered, shaking my head slowly. Around me, the 11 figures remained still, patient, waiting without a single sound. "It is unlikely," the voice agreed, and I almost thought I heard something like gentle humor in those words. "But unlikely is not the same as impossible. We have waited a very long time for someone unlikely to arrive. We can wait a little longer while you learn to believe it." I looked down at my own hand, the same hand that had opened a door that powerful machines could not force open. For the first time, I understood something important. I had not found this tomb by luck. In some strange way, this place had been waiting for someone like me, long before I was ever born. "Otieno," I said, pressing my hand against my radio, my voice steadier now than I expected it to be. "You need to come see this. Bring the whole team. I think we just found something far bigger than old ruins." Within the hour, my entire team had gathered inside the chamber. Otieno walked in first, her eyes wide with disbelief as she looked at the kneeling figures surrounding me. Behind her came the engineers, the scientists, and the young students who had joined our project only a few months earlier, all of them staring in complete silence. "They knelt for you," Otieno said quietly, almost afraid to speak too loud in that great room. "Why would they do that?" "I don't fully understand it either," I admitted, "but it seems I carry something inside me, some kind of old signal from a family line, so ancient that even I never knew about it. These guardians were built to recognize that signal, and to protect it." One of our scientists, Dr. Amara, stepped closer, her scanner raised toward the nearest figure. "Their energy systems are still active after all this time," she said, amazed. "Whoever built these machines wanted them to last far beyond any normal lifetime. They were built to wait." "For me?" I asked, still struggling with the idea. "For someone," she corrected gently. "You just happened to be the one who arrived." Over the next several days, we learned more about the ancient builders, the ones the Guardians called the architects. According to the voice that spoke inside my mind, the architects had placed a hidden pattern into a single bloodline long before recorded history began. They believed that one day, someone carrying that pattern would return to this tomb, no matter how much time had passed, no matter how far the stars had drifted apart. I asked the Guardian many questions during those days, and it always answered with patience, never rushing, never annoyed by my endless curiosity. "Why Guardians?" I asked one evening, sitting near the base of the platform while my team rested nearby. "Why build protectors instead of simply leaving a message?" "A message can be lost," the voice answered. "A message can be misunderstood, or forgotten, or destroyed by time. A guardian remembers. A guardian waits. A guardian protects until the correct hand arrives to receive what was left behind." "And what exactly was left behind?" I asked. The lead guardian rose to its feet, and for the first time, I saw it move with purpose rather than simple stillness. It walked slowly toward the far wall, where a hidden section slid open, revealing rows of small containers glowing with a soft light. "Knowledge," the voice said. "Tools. Records of a civilization that wished to be remembered, not through statues or monuments, but through the ones who would come after them. This is not a tomb of the dead, small one. It is a room built for the living, waiting patiently for the right moment to open its doors." I stood there for a long moment, taking in the size of what we had found. This was not just an old ruin. It was a gift, carefully protected across more time than my mind could easily imagine, kept safe until someone carrying an ancient pattern happened to wander through the correct doorway. Later that night, as I sat alone near the entrance, looking out over the quiet desert above the tomb, Otieno joined me, wrapping a warm blanket around her shoulders. "You know," she said softly, "when we started this project, I never imagined something like this. I thought we would find old bones, maybe some broken tools. Instead, we found something that recognized you. I still don't fully understand why," I said honestly. "I'm just a normal person. I don't feel special." She smiled gently, looking up at the stars scattered across the dark sky. "Maybe that's exactly the point," she said. "The architects didn't choose someone because that person felt important. They left a mark inside someone long ago, without anyone even knowing, and trusted that whoever carried it would eventually find their way home." I thought about her words for a long time after that. Somewhere deep inside the tomb, 11 ancient guardians stood quietly, patient as always, waiting for whatever came next. They had spent 40,000 years protecting a gift meant for one person, never giving up, never growing tired of waiting. I did not know everything that lay ahead of us. I did not know what new discoveries waited inside those glowing containers, or what other secrets the architects had left behind across the stars. But one thing felt certain, as I sat there under that quiet sky, surrounded by people who had become like family to me over the past year. Whatever happened next, I would not walk through it alone. 11 ancient protectors stood ready behind me, loyal beyond time itself, simply waiting for their long-lost master to lead the way forward. And for the first time since stepping through that ancient door, I felt ready to do exactly that.